laughed. He was a kind brother and a loving father and a tender husband to Emma. This is what I should tell you about Joseph and Emma. Well, he couldn't have done all that he did without her, you know. Even as God raised up Joseph as a prophet, so he also raised up Emma as a help meet for him. And together they faced the challenges of their lives. Well, they were often apart. Well, I know, just a moment. We learn so much from what is left behind. Oh, but you know that already. You're in Nauvoo, after all. But these are so precious to me. They're so tender. As tender as they were. Did you know that once, Joseph and Emma had a minor disagreement, as we all have, but Joseph couldn't go on. He couldn't translate the Book of Mormon until he had reconciled himself with Emma. And so he went out into the orchard to pray. It wasn't a short prayer, mind you. He was on his knees for an hour.
Emma, I've been praying. Will you forgive me?
In the fall of 1832, Emma was pregnant with their fourth child, and you know what a difficult time that can be for an expectant mother. Joseph wrote to her from New York City.
My dear Emma, this day I have been walking through the most splendid part of the city. But thoughts of home, of you and Julia, rush upon my mind like a flood, and I could wish for a moment to be with you. I feel to say something to you to comfort you in your peculiar trial and present affliction. I hope God will give you strength. I feel for you, for I know your state and that others do not. But you must comfort yourself knowing that God is your friend in heaven, and that you have one true and living friend on the earth, Joseph Smith, Jr.
Isn't that lovely? Emma was an equally true friend and devoted companion to Joseph. In fact, when her father, Mr. Hale, refused my son's request for her hand, twice, no less, Emma agreed to marry Joseph anyway. Well, that was Emma. She was strong, determined, very faithful. When tensions in Kirtland forced Joseph to leave temporarily, Emma wrote to him.
My dear Joseph, I cannot tell you my feelings when I found I could not see you before you left. The children feel very anxious about you because they don't know where you have gone. I verily feel that if I had no more confidence in God than some I could name, I should be in a sad case indeed. But I still believe that if we are as faithful as we can be, we shall be delivered from every snare.
And there were snares aplenty. Perhaps Joseph's most difficult trial was his unjust incarceration in Liberty Jail. The irony of that name. Confined to a bitter winter without even basic necessities, Joseph was powerless to assist Emma or the other saints who were being driven out of Missouri. With their children clinging to her skirts and Joseph's papers tied in sacks around her waist, Emma crossed the frozen Mississippi alone. But they were together in their letters. This is one that you must hear. It's dated November the 4th, 1838.
My dear companion in tribulation and affliction, I would inform you that I am well, and that we are all of us in good spirits. We have been escorted here by the Jackson County boys in a most genteel manner, and arrived in the midst of a splendid parade. What God may do for us, I do not know, but I hope for the best. Although I go unto death, I will trust in Him.
Dear husband, I shall not attempt to write my feelings altogether for the situation in which you are. The walls, bars, and bolts, rolling rivers, running streams, rising hills, sinking valleys, and spreading prairies that separate us, and the cruel injustice that first cast you into prison and still holds you there.
I can only pray for deliverance until it is meted out, and then take everything as it comes, with patience and fortitude. Oh, God grant that I may have the privilege of seeing once more my lovely family. Tell the children that I am yet alive, and that I trust I shall come and see them before long. Tell little Joseph he must be a good boy. Tell Father loves him with all his heart. Tell Julia and all the others that they are on my mind continually.
We are all well at present, except Frederick, who is quite sick. Little Alexander is one of the finest fellows you ever saw in your life. He is so strong that with the assistance of a chair, he will run all around the room. There are many more things I would like to write.
Oh, Emma, if God will spare my life once more to have the privilege of taking care of you, I will ease your care and endeavor to comfort your heart. Do not forsake me, nor the truth. If I do not meet you again in this life, may God grant that we may meet in heaven.
No one but God knows the reflections of my mind and the feelings of my heart when I left our house and home, and almost all we possessed except our little children, and took my journey out of the state of Missouri, leaving you shut up in that lonesome prison. The recollection is more than human nature ought to bear.
If you want to know how much I want to see you, examine your own feelings, how much you want to see me. I would gladly walk from here to you, barefoot and bareheaded and half naked, and think it a great pleasure. I feel like Joseph in Egypt. Doth my family yet live? If they do live, do they remember me? Have they regard for me? If so, let me know it.
Yes, Joseph, I still live, and am yet willing to suffer more if it is the will of kind heaven that I should, for your sake. But I do hope there are better days to come to us yet.
I have never in my life seen a woman who would endure every species of fatigue and hardship from month to month and year to year with the courage, patience, and zeal which Emma has ever done. Joseph was greatly blessed in his choice of